Okay, I'm now live. Hello, everybody. My name is Ms.B. I am the Goddess of Empathy. The name is for you, but the title is for me. You can just call me Ms.B. I'm about to go live with Ashley Collins, and she is going on Facebook. And I'm going to try and do Facebook and Periscope at the same time. It's her interview, but I'm going to try and take advantage of this and have my interview with her on Periscope as well. So we're going to give her a little bit of time. If you can't hear it, or if you have any problems with hearing her, please let me know, and I'll do what I can. Hopefully you can hear her. I've never done this before, and I can't see. How you doing? I'm about to go live on Facebook and Periscope doing an interview, and I'm just waiting for my coworker / friend to join us, and then that's what we're going to do. Hi, Final Scar. Hi. Just waiting for her. And when she comes on, I will jump on. So I'm at 98%. I hope your day is well. I'm in upstate New York. My name is Ms.B. I am the Goddess of Empathy. The name is for you, but the title is for me. You can just call me Ms.B. I am the CEO of Empathy Empowers Coaching. So today I am going to be interviewed by Ashley Collins. She is also known as the Aunt of Dragons on YouTube. No, on YouTube she is the BREAK UP Diaries. She is also known as the Aunt of Dragons, and her government name is Ashley Collins. And I'm just waiting for her to load up on Facebook. Then the interview will begin. You will not be able to see Ashley, but hopefully you will be able to hear her questions. So I'm just waiting for her to dive right on. And then once she dives on, you will be able to hear from her. Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me today. I'm just waiting for my friend to go live, and once she goes live, I will join in with her and we will pick up the conversation there. And I don't see her live. Hopefully she'll go live soon. And thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. While we're waiting for Ashley, put in the comments, where are you from? The two people that are in the room. Okay, she's live now. Put where you're from. And I'm about to join her. And then we're going to continue the conversation.
I don't know why I introduced myself like that. I know why. I did it because I need to get in the habit of introducing myself. Anyway, so last year, or maybe 2 years ago, I don't know what year it is right now.
Hope you guys can hear her.
My first YouTube live pairing with someone was with Ms.B, aka.
And I was just having a little bit of connection problems.
Home all day. Hey, girl, hey!
Hey, good morning, Ashley. How are you?
How are you?
I am awesome. I miss you.
No, I miss you. I feel like we look alike right now.
Yes.
Like we look like cousins.
Yes, we have kindred spirits. Yes.
So please introduce yourself for the world.
Okay, just before we start real quick, I tried the Instagram thing, so I decided to do Periscope, just so you wouldn't be a little confused. But I'm also on Periscope too.
Perfect.
Okay, great. So good morning, or wherever you are around the world, if it's the afternoon. My name is Ms.B. I am the Goddess of Empathy. The name is for you, but the title is for me. You can just call me Ms.B. I am the CEO of Empathy Empowers Coaching, where we use empathy to help people understand the direction of their lives, and also to help them deal with family members who have addiction and or alcoholism in the family. So that is me, Ms.B. You can just call me Ms.B. So glad to be here.
And how long have you been doing this for?
Well, I've been working in the addictions field since '97. And I come from a generational, is family alcoholism and addiction in my family on both sides. So it was something that I was kind of born into, and I went to school for it. So I've worked in the field professionally for over 20 years, and personally all my life, 40-something years old. And now just recently decided to be an entrepreneur and work on that on my own terms as a coach within the last, I want to say 6 months. I recently got my LLC, my business license. I'm so proud of myself for my business. I recently got it in April. So, I'm working on that, building the capital so I can get started with that. But I'm just so excited. So I'm an author, I am a speaker, and I am a coach and all-around entrepreneur.
So you keyword that was stuck into my mind just now, you said that it's generational.
Yes.
So could you explain that for those people who don't understand what that means.
Yes. Okay. So generational, basically, addiction, alcoholism is a family disease. And just like how someone may be a diabetic, and that may run in a family, or different types of autism or genetic disorders, alcoholism and addiction runs in the family the same way, as well as mental illness. So that's why I say it's generational. For a long time, I did not know that it was generational, or that it actually ran in the family genetically, until I started working in the field and, going amongst my studies in college. But it is, sometimes it skips generations, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, you have that uncle or that aunt who may be involved with drugs or alcohol, and then you may have a second cousin, and you may think it's mental illness. There's so many things, so it's generational. So information is power. So if you know that you have more than likely 3 or more family members that have a addiction and or alcoholism, it's important that you understand that and that you know that, so that you can take precautions for yourself to less likely become an addict or an alcoholic for you or your family. So information is power. So the more you know about your family, the more you can know about yourself to be empowered. So that's what I mean when I say it's generational, and it is a family disease. Addiction is a family disease, and it is a disease.
I'm going to say that and post that somewhere, because that was very, very educational for me.
Yes.
What was I going to ask you? Okay, so I remember during our first chat.
Yes.
You were talking about, you were talking about how you remembered the spike in the AIDS epidemic, and I wanted to talk to you about that. Do you see a difference, not only with AIDS and HIV, but do you think things are getting better now, like education-wise and numbers-wise, when it comes to addiction, like from 1997 to 2020?
Ashley, that's a great question. I've been going out, participating in seminars, workshops, because, throughout my years in human services, I wanted to make sure I was still in the loop. I wanted to make sure that I was up to date and abreast on the new information and the new technology. And what pleasantly surprised me is that the essentialness of it is the same. It hasn't changed. With the HIV/AIDS epidemic, with that transitioning with the drug use that came from the crystal meth, and it all has those underlying behaviors, which is the childhood trauma, the abuse, the neglect. A lot of things stem from childhood. So I was thinking that I would have to go back and maybe get my master's and do some more investigation. But what I am learning is that a lot of those contributing factors have not changed. A lot of those things that contribute to alcoholism and addiction has not changed. It's just a different type of demon. But those same things play into it, as far as stress, the family aspect of it, the mental health, and again, those childhood, those ACE studies, those different behaviors and anxiety, depression, mental illness. A lot has not changed. The fundamentals people are still using drugs for the same reason. And I don't know to be happy or sad about it. I just know I gotta do my part to learn from my perspective and my education and my experience to re-educate the people. One thing that has changed, or it's more prominent, again, is the family disease aspect. I went to a seminar probably about a couple of months ago, and they were saying that the resources that are for the family are so null and in between that basically there aren't any.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to counseling. I met one woman and I was pitching my sales services to her, and she has a psychologist. She goes to Al-Anon. She goes to all these services to help her deal with a loved one's addiction, and she still needed my services. It just wasn't enough. That shows the high need for it. So it's affecting the family more often. People are realizing how it affects the family, and there's still that shame around it, but there's less shame around it because more people are talking about it, because they have that child, they have that uncle, they have that aunt, they have that person who is addicted, so they can relate. And of course, with the opioid crisis, which basically means the opioid crisis just means that the addiction, the original addiction, alcoholism, it's just crossing over and broadening out to more demographics of people of all types of, well, we always know that it was all types of, social and economic status, but just the opioid crisis is just showing people that it is around all economics, all races, white, black, Hispanic, Latino, rural, city, it's everywhere. So that's what the opioid crisis did, basically just brought it to more light.
That's so funny that you say that. That's so funny that you said, because that was literally the next thing on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I tap myself when I have a question to remind myself.
Yes.
So I was tapping myself, I don't know if you noticed, but I was like, oh, she already said it, so I remember it.
Yes.
Let's talk about the opioid crisis.
Yes.
And I was listening to something yesterday,
mm-hmm.
and they said that all of these prescription medications are coming from Florida.
Well, there's a lot of things that we gotta kind of pay attention to when it comes to what's being said in our media. And just because it comes across from our major media and news aspects doesn't mean it's necessarily true. I'm reading a book now, the original Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross. I'm reading his book now. And he talks about how when he ran his drug empire, he was contracted through the U.S. government. So it's like, you know how people want to point the finger? Well, it's Florida, it's this, it's that. It's not Florida, it's not one particular place. It's from it's from many places. And most people have an investment. And they want to invest, and what they want is they want our money. They want us to become addicted. They want us to become numb. They want us to not pay attention to what's going on internally so that we can make changes and make the world a better place. So there may be some truth to that, but I would take that with a grain of salt. To me, I would see that as a deflection from what it's really coming from, which is a plethora of social, economic, and spiritual things. Which it could be true, but there are different types of drugs that are more prevalent in certain areas. Like again, the rural areas, upstate New York in the rural area is the crystal meth. Certain other areas are, more people with more affluence, as you can say, or more money. They are more likely to pop pills. So it depends. So I wouldn't. It could be true, it could not, but it's just I always check my resources and see where's this coming from and what is the who printed this article and what's their investment in it. Yeah.
Well, I guess when I was listening to it specifically, they were talking about cocaine.
Oh yeah, that's possible. That's possible and it's plausible. That makes sense, definitely. Yeah.
Very interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's like this getting like really heavy. We're in the mood. So the industry is big business for the government. It's huge business for the government.
Yes.
I agree with that detail. Hey girl, by the way, I haven't talked to you in a while. What was my question? So you deal with a lot of heavy stuff every day, but you're always smiling. You're always so friendly. And how do you not absorb that negative energy, but not negative as in like they're trying to get you down, but it's like they have to, like, how do you stay so happy all the time?
That's a great question, Ashley. It's almost like a fake it till you make it. What I learned about myself is that, we all have flaws. We all have our days. Most definitely, I have my days. I am not exempt. But when I notice when something is particularly tagging at me or pulling at me, I do a lot of inward reflection. I look internally, because a lot of times we tend to lash out and we tend to blame other people, but I do a lot of internal work. I spend a lot of time in solitude by myself, and I get a lot of answers about what's going on. So when I do that, I'm meditating a lot, I'm praying, I'm asking the universe, my spirit guides, Jesus, all those people who are here to help me. I'm asking for that guidance and I'm getting it. But I listen to my inner voice. So I do have those days. Believe me, I do have those days. But one thing that I didn't know, and I noticed because I'm a mother of one, and I always thought, I'm responsible for being a good example or a role model to this one young person. I have a young adult daughter who's about your age. And one thing that I learned just doing seminars and just meeting different people, all different types of people, is that people are watching me. I never wanted to be on the forefront. I never wanted to be a leader. I was a supportive leader. I would always support the ones who are in charge, because I love supporting people in their dreams. But what I learned is that there are young women who are watching me who I had no idea even knew who I was. So I try to be as transparent and as honest as I can. And at the same time, I try to put on that bright face, and I have to tell myself, smile. And I have to do these things because people are watching. And it's not that I want to be seen, but I was watching someone. Whenever I want to do something, I look at the person who done it. And that's how I learned how to do it. So someone's watching me right now trying to learn how to do it. So because they're watching me, I want to give them my best effort. I want to look good, I want to smell good, I want to sound good, and I want to be knowledgeable. I want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So that's one thing, definitely. But I definitely, that inner reflection, that inner time, I don't have a lot of people around me. I don't take on a lot of people's, because it's energy. I'm an energy person. So I watch who I'm around, and that's pretty much it. So I go through it, but I make sure that I put my best foot forward. There's a Bible verse, and I can't recall what it is, and it talks about when you're fasting. When you're fasting, it says, put oil on your face and don't look all, down and trying to it's not, you got to put that best foot forward all the time. When you look good, you'll feel better. So I just try and remember that in the deepest parts of my lowness, which I go there, I try to remember to always look good and feel good for myself and for the other people that are watching me who need that example.
I love that. Oh my God, there's gonna be so many clips that I'm gonna use from this interview. Oh
yes. Great, Ashley, great.
So, walk through your morning routine with us.
Walk through my morning routine? Oh, Ashley, you would ask that question. You would. My morning routine, basically, let me tell you what my morning routine used to be. It used to be, oh my God, I don't want to get up, snooze, and then it'll go off, snooze. Now my morning routine, it's better, but it needs to get better. I roll over, and I don't need my alarm clock anymore. But when I get up, I shower, I do what I got to do, but I don't reflect. So I'm scurrying, but I will be getting better with that. So I don't really have one. I know I need one because that's what good entrepreneurs, they have it. Usually my planning day is Sunday. I try to, I have more of a weekly routine, which I'm working on a daily routine. But once I get better with my weekly routine, then I'll get better with my morning routine because I don't know, meditation relaxes me, so I don't know if I want to meditate in the morning. I got to get out of my comfort zone. I'll probably be doing something physical. But right now, it's just basically waking up, being thankful, and getting started before I can even, before those negative thoughts even come. Get up and get out. Yeah. It's like you gotta
prep for people's negative energy sometimes, right?
Yes. There is a, and I often reference this author. There is a psychologist, and she is a PhD psychologist, which means she went to med school, she knows what she's talking about. And she wrote a book called The Impasse Survival Guide. And a lot of people who are sensitive, who are entrepreneurs, a lot of people in the helping fields, a lot of artists, they're empaths. And Dr. Judy Orlow, she is an empath as well. And one thing she teaches in that book is basically surrounding yourself is using visualization. And you can use that visualization through imagining a circle around you as a protective field, different types of meditation and things like that, and different mantras that you could do. So I'm getting better with it, but it's definitely true because as a sensitive person and or empath, you can't help but take on other people's emotions and feelings, and sometimes they're not even yours, and you have to check yourself. Is this mine or is this coming from somewhere else? So there are different things that we can do to protect ourselves from people's negative energy and not allowing it to affect us. But it takes practice. But I always recommend and tell people about that book.
That's so interesting. I hate to turn you into my psychologist right now. But
I'm ready.
Well, I found that, like, I used to have a really bad temper, but like it got better like the past 2 years.
Me too.
But recently, especially the past month, I found myself getting so agitated so easily.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that it's my work environment. I don't know what to do anymore. You know, like I'll meditate for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll work out. I take a nice long shower. I'm prepped. But like by like 2 o'clock, I'm like, I want to punch a wall.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah. So that's good. You identified as not a specific. It doesn't sound like it's a specific person or a specific thing. And a lot of times, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a person that knows me. And I just try to take everything that I know to help other people. It's the agitation may be kind of with yourself. There's something going on internally that, and I could tell you this, there was a young woman that I worked with, my last professional job, call center. And this young lady annoyed me. And I couldn't figure out, like, what is it? Why does she like tee me off? Whether she was an office snitch, you know, she talked a lot. She talked about other women, but still, that's none of my business what she does. But I'm like, even outside of that, why is this young girl? Why is she irritating me so much? So I was like, all right. So I thought about her physical features, and I thought about her behaviors and the way, and I realized what it was. She was saying that she was in a domestic violence situation. And it was just something she mentioned and she would talk about, and maybe sometimes she would talk to other coworkers about it. And so people knew about it. And what I remembered, I said, that's what it is. What bothered me about her was the weakness that she showed when she came, because she was very timid. She talked like this, da-da-da. She always had her head down. And it reminded me of me when I was in a domestic violence situation so many years ago. And I didn't want to be that woman anymore. So she reminded me of that old person, that old weak woman that I was. And I said, that's what it is. So I was like, you know, it allowed me to have more compassion for her. And I'm supposed to be the goddess of empathy, so I'm more empathetic towards her. But a lot of times when we're annoyed with other people, it's a reflection of us. And then a lot of times it sounds like it's an annoyance that you may have with yourself. Something's going on where you're annoyed with yourself. And if that's the case, I would say, Ashley, give yourself more credit, because you are doing things. And I'm so proud of you and so proud to be your friend. It was like just a year ago, and it's like you have grown in leaps and bounds. So I would just say, give yourself some slack. And hopefully whatever's irritating you will dissipate, or you'll find out what it is, so you can give yourself, you know, the credit and the love that you deserve.
Okay. I'm going to get emotional.
Okay.
I want to talk about astral projection.
Yes. So say that again.
I want to talk about astral projection.
Oh, the astral. Yes.
I want to talk about astral projection.
Yes.
So I made a video of my lucid dream.
Yes.
And the last person I expected to comment was you.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God, did I come out rude? No, I didn't. No, that's a bad thing.
Yes.
So, can you talk to us about your knowledge / your experience about lucid dreaming, astral projection? I'm still very confused about all of this.
Yeah. And I can understand why I would be the last person, because there is a part of myself, there's a lot that I know, but I kind of like keep it to, because I'm already weird. I'm already considered different ever since I was a little kid. So I'm like, do I really want to put this out so people know how even more weird that I am? But the person was asking about help. So I just can't, if I know, I'm not going to, not say anything. But I used to have very lucid dreams, and especially like I adopt many ideas of spirituality, but a lot of the ways I used to interpret my own dreams, and I would help my daughter interpret her dreams. And sometimes dreams are just because you ate too much chicken before you went to bed. Sometimes dreams are just regular dreams, but a lot of times your dreams is your subconscious speaking to you, letting you know what's going on or what you need to do, that they guide you in the direction. And again, in the Bible, was it David? I haven't read, it's the dreams. We have dreams, and sometimes like there are different levels that happens in our REM sleep where it could be dreaming, but I truly believe that, and I'm not ashamed to say it, that, you know, we have the ability to astral project. And, you know, I know of someone, and I'm not going to say their name, and this is how I knew it was true. 2 family members had died, and they had a dream, and they basically, during that dream, they astral projected. And when they astral projected, they were sitting on a bench in a park, and 2 people who passed away in their family saw them and spoke to them during this dream. Now, I know this person very good. This person does not have a reason to lie. I help the person understand it, but there are things that happen in our dreams. You know, a lot of times things are made, it's like hiding in plain sight. Things are shown to us through movies, through books, science fiction. Oh yeah, science fiction. No, this stuff is really happening. And I had to, in preparation for this interview, I said, I gotta watch The Matrix again. Because I had to kind of bring that to fruition. A lot of these things, they happen. So I do believe that people can astral project. But at the same time, a lot of people, they kind of dive into spiritual things, and they dive into the paranormal, or maybe they just called into it. But it's important to bring in, to do a lot of research, and to listen to yourself, and to be confident within yourself. Because we have angels. Everybody has angels. Everybody has spirit guides. And they're here to help us on our journey for this cycle of our life. But at the same time, there are other spiritual entities that are lost, and they're looking for something to attach itself. So it's very important that when we practice certain things, that we are confident within ourselves, that we listen to ourselves, and that we follow our spirit and follow our heart. So yes, that young gentleman, he had commented on your astral projected, and I guess he saw that I was knowledgeable, and he was like, well, can you come and help me with something in my astral projection? I'm like, I don't do that. Like, first of all, I don't know you. Where are you from? Like, it seemed like the ultimate question to ask someone, like, you know, come and see you. Come help me with this thing. Like, I'm a superhero, but I'm not that super. Like, let me understand this thing. And there's nothing that I can do for him that he couldn't do for himself. There's nothing that I could do, that's the same thing. A lot of times we look outwardly, and the answers are right inside of us, but instead we're working, we're doing things, we're so distracted. But again, those answers were right within him. And I told him, I said, there's a thin line between mental illness and, you know, you just got to be careful with those things.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Very fascinating. Wow, this is so good so far.
Yes. You know how we do, Ashley.
So, I've noticed recently, even a lot of work with like back to school stuff with the kids.
Yes.
And how do you find these functions, these events to?
Well, I basically,
or they find you.
I volunteer a lot, probably too much. And when I volunteer, I'm on like so many boards, and I do this and I do that. But I look for every opportunity. So I have a friend who doors have been opened up for her to do phenomenal things. And I simply asked her, how did you get to do this? How did you get to do that? And she simply said, I asked. So now, like, if I have different goals and things that I want to achieve. So part of my tithing in my business is to give back to schools and give back to education. And so that's my tithing time. So every opportunity, if I meet someone like the gentleman who I work with, I volunteer with, he works at Hudson Valley, our local community college. And there is, I don't know if you're familiar with the scholarship program, EOP or HEOP. So EOP, which is Educational Opportunity, it provides scholarships and aid for people in New York State who want to go to college. So when I went to college, I was an HEOP student because I went through a private college, and they helped me so much. So I wanted to give back to them. So I met the gentleman at a networking event, and he works over at HVCC. And I just said, I want to come into your students and I want to talk to them about vision boards. Can I do that? And he said yes. And he sent me an email. He was like, I booked you for August such and such at 10 o'clock. And instead of me saying, oh, I got to work then, or let me see, I said, I'll take it. And even though I wasn't prepared as much as I like to be, it worked out smoothly. So I don't say no to certain things, but I never say no to opportunities to show myself. And a lot of people think that you have to be perfect or you have to be at a certain level to help people. You don't. You just got to be a little bit of a step ahead of them so that you can teach them. So what I did at Hudson Valley and also at Schenectady Central Middle School in Schenectady, New York, I showed them my vision board. I showed them a few clips from the Hammock Way of Life. Shout out to Janet Tangway because I'm a certified trainer through Hammock Way of Life. I showed them a few videos about vision boards and how they work. And then I showed them my vision board, and I basically encouraged them to continue with their studies, to do a vision board because it will help. So I have my vision board here, and a lot of the things... You want to see it? All right, so I don't know how this is going to work. All right, I don't know how it's going to work, but it says author, and I finished my book. It's been 1 year. One thing I noticed, it says bold in business, and I am bold in business. I'm going skydiving, and let's see. In the middle, I don't know if you can see it. It says philanthropy, because I want to be rich so that I can give. It also says public speaker, and it says life coach. So I just got that, my life coaching. And as you can see, there's pictures of money, because again, I want to be rich. I got to change my mindset. And there's pictures of a kitchen, because I want to build my own kitchen. And there's shoes. You know how we love shoes. And I do have a picture of me with a handsome man, but I'm still working on that one. But I made this vision board approximately, and Martin Luther King Jr. is on it. He's the ultimate dreamer. Career and life changing, women in business. So I approximately made this board. You can see it on Periscope. I made this board about 6 years ago. So a lot of those things are coming to pass, and they continue to come to pass. And I think I'm going to do another one. But I know it's corny. People say, oh, if you believe anything, you could be it. I can't be a tree if I imagine I'm a tree. No, it's practicality. Everything starts with a vision. You have to start with the vision, and then you execute the plan. The vision, plan, execute. But it definitely starts with a vision. And having a vision board, it does help. It definitely does help. So that's what I've been doing.
I remember once I sat down with the first mentor, I hit her head, and he said you have to ask for the moon, and then you'll still get the stars.
Yes.
Ask for extreme things. Because I would love to be an astronaut. Like,
yeah.
I really just want to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
But if that simply means that, like, I'm just taking like a side trip to Mars one day, I
yeah.
just want to Panda, you know?
Yes.
So you have to ask for Pluto, and then you'll get Mars.
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard some time ago that Whoopi Goldberg, Justin Timberlake, and a few other celebrities, you know, they have it arranged that if something happens and we have to go to another planet, that they have the money, they have everything set up so that they could go. So it's not, I'm an ultimate optimist. I don't see why it's not possible for you to be an astronaut. Maybe not through going through the traditional realms of getting a PhD in astrophysics or whatever, but it can happen in so many other ways. An astronaut, like, what does that mean? Understanding the stars, understanding the galaxy, visiting the stars, visiting the galaxy. There's ways that you can do it that are non-traditional, so you can definitely do it. It's just not putting those barriers and not allowing others to put those parameters on you and how you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yes.
Also, I love that you've been like going live more often and stuff. I'm posting more often. I love it.
Thanks to AD, mindset architect Anthony A.D. Walker, my friend that I've known since middle school. He pushes me and he pushes everyone, and he's just a gentle, positive soul. So if I don't know what I would do without him challenging me.
Yeah. You guys have known each other since middle school?
Yes. I remember his wife more. Because Anthony was quiet, but I remember his wife more. But me and Anthony, we're from the same hometown, and yeah, we went to middle school, high school together. Yeah, and then yeah. So he's awesome. He's awesome. And I know he's going places, and I'm going places, and I'm just like, I got to be a part of what he's doing. But had he not challenged me, and it's been a little bit over a year, had he not challenged me to do my first Periscope, and it was hard. It was funny. I won't say it was horrible. It was funny. But he challenges you. He gives you that gentle nudge, and he's like, go out there, go out there. And you go out there, and you be like, he was right. He was not that bad. So shout out to Roosevelt, New York, Strong Island, and shout out to A.D. Walker, the mindset architect, and his beautiful wife, Samantha. Yeah.
He's so pretty. Oh my God.
Say that again?
Like when I saw her, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Because I know it's a part of being an entrepreneur, and it's a part of the business, and it's like a part that I don't like it, but I know it comes with the territory. So I have to learn how to master the territory until I can pay somebody else to do it. Until now, it's just me. I got to do everything.
Right? I honestly think about it every day. Like, I can just easily hire a high school student to like do everything for me.
Yes, and it's
like then I miss the engagement. Then I actually miss talking to people. You know.
Yeah, I know. Up here we have different what do you call them? Co-working spaces. But it's important to actually try to be around other entrepreneurs so you won't get burnt out. And also, like you said, with the college kids, that's one of the reasons. Like I reached out to Hudson Valley. I reached out to my alma mater. They haven't gotten back to me. But my goal is, after I grow a little bit, to get some of those young people to work as interns for me. So there's always has to be a method to the madness. That's not 3 or 4 years down the line. That's not until 3 or 4 years down the line. But I'm doing the work now, building those relationships in higher education. So that's another part of me giving back. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me all of your plugs. Where can people find you? Where can they stalk you? And talk to us about your skydiving trip.
Okay.
That's coming up.
Okay. Okay. So now I have to write all this down because I forget. But on Facebook, I am Bernadette Willis. That's regular. I'm building a business page, Facebook business page. It's still in the beginning phases. So if you go to it, it may be short, but I'm getting my likes up first. But Facebook is Goddess of Empathy. Instagram is Ms.B in the place to be. Periscope is Hope Positive. Twitter is Hope Positive Ms.B. I also have a podcast on Anchor, which is Ms.B1. And YouTube, I just got a YouTube channel, even though they're changing a lot of stuff, but I'm there just so I can learn about it. Yeah, it's Ms.B, Goddess of Empathy. Just make sure you capitalize that M, MS.B, Goddess of Empathy, and you'll see me. And one more plug. This is my book, Deborah's Daughter, Memoir of Perseverance Through Family Addiction. I wrote it 1 year ago. It's a memoir about my life, and I've probably sold about one book a week since it's been out. So I'm really proud about that. So now, this skydiving thing. Now, we talked a lot about fear, coming out of our comfort zone. We talked about a lot today, but I know for me, fear is debilitating for me. There are places that I want to go and things that I want to do, and I feel like I'm behind on. And what stops me is fear. So I have a friend, like when we talked about also friendships and not letting everybody in our circle. So I had met a friend approximately 2 years ago, and I wasn't interested in having any new friends. I just was like, I don't have time with when I first moved to upstate New York, I would meet a lot of women like, call me every day. Like, come on, we're grown women. Like, I don't have to call you every day. I have friends since elementary school. We don't talk every day, but when I call you, it's like it was yesterday. Just because I don't talk to them every day doesn't mean that they're not important in my life. If I called one of my friends and be like, I need $1,000 or I need $500, they're not going to be like, where you been? If it's something that I need, they're going to provide it for me. So I met two women, and one young woman, her name is Regine Martinez, and she was a Hispanic Puerto Rican princess, and she has such a beautiful spirit. And it was another woman, and she was around my age, and she was a Muslim woman. and we would always have breakfast together at this job. So this job was like pretty intense. It was intense because of the training, and the training was like 30 people. Well, our class was, they had too many people in our class. So imagine just going to a university classroom and sitting with 2 teachers and having like 60 people in one room. We had to go through that for like 6 weeks, this training for this job, and it was intense. But during that time, I bonded with Regine and the other woman, and Regine and I, she had went skydiving before. And she's like, I said, I always wanted to go. And she was like, well, we could go. And then we had planned to go. And what I didn't know, but what I thought of, now that I look back, is that her life was transitioning. Because weird things were happening to her. And it was almost like I was like a little protective over her. And little things were happening to her. Like, I don't watch the news. I just don't watch the news. And I just happened to have the TV on one night. And they said, breaking news, a young person, in Albany got hit by a car. And I'm just like, I had the TV on, and I'm like, that looks like Regine. But I had the TV down. The volume was down, but they just kept showing the picture. So they just kept breaking every commercial. They was like, young woman gets hit by a car. So I said, that looks like Regine. So it was a Sunday night. And I said, let me just watch the news, because it just looks like her, but I'm sure it's not her. And I'm watching the news, and they showed her picture, and they said her name. And I said, oh my God, it's Regine. So I immediately got on the phone, and I called our other friend, and she was like, she comforted me. And so, it was a Sunday, so you got to go to work the next day. So I went to work the next day, and I walked around to her cubicle, and there were flowers on her desk. And I said, fuck, it's true. Because you want to have that, you don't want to believe it. And I'm just like, oh my God. So she has been someone, we went to her services, but I just always ask myself, like, God, I didn't know her that long, but the time that I known her, she really touched my heart and she really touched my spirit. What was the purpose of this young woman being in my life? Because under normal circumstances, I wouldn't even talk to her. I would speak, but I would have never. So I was like, what is the purpose? Why did I meet her? What is it about her? And one thing that I really believed was just that to live life abundantly and not to live in fear, because she was loved by everybody. Oh my gosh. Her funeral, it was just packed. She was just a beautiful, and one thing I didn't know, she was an extraordinary artist. She was a great artist. And so then, I left that job, and I'm still communicating with people who are in that job, and they said, we're going skydiving. And I'm like, I immediately thought of Regine. So I was like, I'm going to do this in honor of her. So as a bootstrapping entrepreneur with a part-time minimum wage job, I'm like, well, how am I going to go? Like, I don't have the funds. And then I just kept hearing spirit and boldness and faith. And I had also went to a Joyce Meyer conference. She had just left. And I bought her book, and she talked about Do It Afraid. I didn't bring that one out. I brought my other books. I didn't think I would talk about that one. And she talks about doing things, but doing it afraid anyway. So I said, you know what? I don't usually ask people for nothing, but I'm going to ask. I'm going to cast my net. So I asked the internet. I asked the World Wide Web to help me honor my friend and other loved ones through the skydiving trip in memory of her. And the world came through. The universe came through. Friends, my mentors, people I work with. So I have the money. It's in the Facebook account thing. I had to get in contact with them to figure out how to get it out. But I'm going skydiving probably in the next week or two in honor of her, in honor of our friendship, in honor of faith, and just getting out of that comfort zone. Because I know once I do that, I know I'm going to just like, nothing's going to scare me. I'm just like, I was the type of person, when I was a kid, my mother would say my name and I would jump. Like, I was just a scary kid, and I'm still scary. But I'm trying to break out of that so that I could grow. So I will be skydiving, and I keep saying, I keep updating Facebook and Instagram and telling them what's going on. But I said, the next, I'm not going to post anymore until I do it. And the next time they log on and they see me, it's going to be me jumping out of an airplane. So I don't want to be a one, because I'm seeing people on the street, they're like, when you're jumping, I'm like, all these things are happening, trying to prevent it, but I don't say all that. But I'm like, it's going to happen. So just pay attention, on those notifications. It will happen. I'm going to skydive in honor of my friend.
For you.
Yes.
No idea how excited for you. And like, especially like the thing behind it now.
Yes.
And you know me, I'm always hella broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let me just stop. It's just, I think I'll like give you $5. But I'm like, you know what? It's something. It's
Yes.
better than nothing.
Yes. Exactly.
And I'm so glad I did it now.
Yes.
Glad I didn't second guess myself.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what's the impact that you want to leave on the world?
That's a great question. Go, Ashley. Go, Ashley. All right. So my impact on the world, what I would like to do, what my goal is, you know, what I aim to do, what I will to do on my cycle here on this earth is that I will help the world. My goal is to help the world be more empathetic toward each other. And I know God is using addiction as a vehicle to do that. So my goal is to, I probably can't change the world, but I know if I can just teeter it just a little to help people be more empathetic, because what comes with empathy is compassion. So I want people to be more empathetic. So that's my goal. That's my goal. And I'm just crazy enough to believe that I could do it. Thanks to Evan Carmichael. Yes.
To Brene Brown.
I referenced her, not yet, but I've heard things about her and I know who she is, but I haven't tapped into her yet.
She's special on Netflix. Do you have Netflix?
No, but I don't. But I probably should. I'm easily distracted, so I don't have cable, I don't have Netflix, so I have my YouTube and I just, watch entrepreneur stuff because I'm so easily distracted.
It took me a month to finish this one episode.
Yes.
But she's all about empathy and vulnerability, and she said a quote that I've been repeating to myself repetitively every day.
Yes.
And she said, compassion is, I do not give you the power to abuse me. So I'm going to care for you up until the point where you take advantage of that. So I've been trying to for me, you have to teach people how to treat you. So if you let people treat you like a doormat, that means that they're going to treat someone else like that.
Exactly.
So I've been trying to balance, and I feel like I'm almost there. I'm trying to balance being kind, yet I'm not going to let you walk all over me.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I can relate, and it's a fine line. Actually, I remember my first husband was Nigerian, and different cultures or whatever, and he was very, he still is very nice, very trusting. I can, even though we're not together, we're divorced, I can call him and ask for anything. But I remember when we first got married, and like I said, he helps everybody. And I said, how do you trust people? What is it about you? And he said, I trust everyone till they give me a reason not to. And that always just stuck in my head. I always trust everyone till they give me a reason not to. I was like, okay, all right. I think I get it. I think I understand you a little bit better now. So yeah.
I love people. People show. I love people show their ugly side. I'm like, ooh, there you go. There you are.
And it's okay. It's okay. I was working with one woman, and she was saying she had helped me learn to embrace what she calls my shadow side. So I call it my Erykah Badu and my little Kim. Sometimes it's okay. That's why that shadow is there. That's why that fight in there is for us. It's for that, to keep people from taking advantage of us. So it's okay to have it. Just knowing when to use it.
I call that my Cardi B side.
Your Cardi B? I'd be like,
my Cardi B side.
Yes.
Oh, she's coming out.
Yes. Little Kim be ready to come out a little too much. I was like, where's Badu? Where's Badu? Badu, I need you. Little Kim about to get me in jail. Where's Badu? Where's Badu?
That's so funny.
Yes.
This was so rewarding to me. We can do this again next year.
Yes. And it got to be sooner than next year, because I did a lot of research on resistance and ambition, because I thought we would talk about that, but the universe said everything it needed to say. But yes, Ashley, we have to, maybe I'll have you on my platform next time, but we have to do this again, because we have just scratched the surface, and there's so much more we can and will talk about. Because we're kindred spirits. I didn't tell you I was wearing black. Why are you wearing black today? Why are we both wearing black with our curly hair? Yes.
Do that again before Christmas.
Yes, definitely. Okay, cool. All right, so sounds like you want to close.
Yes, I can go eat.
Okay, me too. When I sat down, I was like, I'm hungry. But I get it.
Okay, guys, definitely check her out, Ms.B, the Goddess of Empathy. You can /Hope Positive on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now YouTube. Until YouTube is just figuring its life out.
Yes.
It's totally fine. Give it some time. And I will talk to you on Monday on Social Builders Club.
Yes. I said it with hesitancy, but yes. All right, bye everybody. Bye Ashley. Thank you so much. All right, bye. Bye Periscope. Bye Facebook. Peace and blessings. All right. And we are done here. Thank you, everybody. I don't know how this turned out, but I hope it turned out okay, and I hope you could hear her. If not, I will just delete this broadcast. You guys have a great day. Bye.